Welcome to this episode of the Homeschool Show from North Carolinians for Home Education. I'm Amanda Wares, your host for today. I am so happy to have you here. We are here to help you homeschool with confidence and joy. And we do that each and every week by giving you information, sharing news with you, having interviews with great other homeschool influencers or experienced homeschoolers, and just sharing with you kind of our heart and our experiences. So I hope that this show is helpful to you. I hope it's encouraging to you. Like we said in the last episode, we want your feedback. So if you have any suggestions for us, if you have any ideas of things you'd like to see on the show, things you'd like to see us talk about, segments you might want us to do, even ideas for a new name, that would be great. Please send it to us. You can put it in the comments wherever you are watching or listening to this podcast. You can send it to us via email at thehomeschoolshow@nche.com. You can comment, you can contact us, me, Melanie Willis, any of the team, and we would be happy to take those suggestions into account as we're working on the show. We're working on it all the time to make it better and more helpful for you. So please contact us. We want to hear from you. And like we said last week, if we choose one of your suggestions and implement it into the show, you will be the recipient of some NCHE swag. So definitely contact us. We want to hear from you. Now, last week, Melanie and I talked about, it's a new year, and a lot of times that will bring some New Year's resolutions, or sometimes people will pick a word for the year. And I shared that my word for 2025 is purpose. I have been thinking about, praying about, just mulling over what it actually means, this word, purpose, what my purpose is as a wife, as a mom, as a homeschool mom, as a woman, as a believer in Jesus. What is my purpose? And like I've said many, many times, I have one child left at home. My active homeschooling days are kind of quickly coming to an end. And so I'm starting to think about, well, what is going to be my purpose when I'm not homeschooling every day anymore? But I was thinking about how this word, purpose, can apply and be helpful to all of you. So whether you are a brand new homeschooler, I have talked to several families that are just starting to homeschool, even after the Christmas holiday. They are just starting right now, or they just started, this school year. Or if you're an experienced homeschooler and you just need a reboot, sometimes we need that. Sometimes we find ourselves struggling or just kind of burnt out, dragging, struggling through the muck is what it feels like sometimes. And I think focusing in on our purpose, on your why, is another way to put that, is just really important and helpful. It can change everything about your homeschool. So I would encourage you to take this time. It's a new year, new year, new you, and all that. I think it's important. Take this time, whether you're a new homeschooler. I think it's really important for a new homeschooler. Think about your why. Why are you doing this crazy thing called homeschooling? And perhaps what started out as your why, maybe now it's something different if you've been homeschooling for a little while. I know when we first started, my why at that time was to help my daughter who was struggling in a brick-and-mortar school. I needed to get her out of a negative situation. And maybe that's a lot of you out there as well. But that's an initial thing, that's a motivation. But that is not enough of a why, enough of a purpose to keep you going when there's difficult times. And there will be difficult times. Homeschooling is wonderful. I love it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it for 20 years. But it is not all sunshine and roses. So there are times that are hard. And in those hard times, if you have a strong sense of what your purpose is in your homeschool, of your why, it will keep you going through those hard times. So whether you're new, whether you're just starting, whether you started this school year, whether you've been homeschooling 20 years like me, or anywhere in between, I would encourage you, take this time at the beginning of this year and revisit your why. Think about your purpose in your homeschool and just really hone in on that. It will give you more oomph. We've talked about kind of the winter slump, and that is definitely a thing also. Having a strong sense of your why, of your purpose, will get you through those times as well. So I encourage you, just hone in on your why. What is your why for homeschooling? I would love to hear what yours is. You can send it to me, like I said at the beginning of the show. Send it to me at thehomeschoolshow@nche.com. Drop it in the comments. I would love to hear it. All right, next, we have done several times learning on location segments. And I love learning on location. I love anytime we can get out of the four walls. I love it. I think it really helps, at least with my kids and me, it helps to get out of the routine, kind of what we do every single day, shake things up a little bit. I think it helps make it more exciting, make it more fun, instill that love of learning. And I was thinking about today, one of the learning on locations that is fabulous for almost any age student is the grocery store. This is somewhere we all go on a regular basis, right? And no matter what age your child is, there is something to learn. There are learning activities that can happen at the grocery store. So let me give you some examples. For your littlest ones, if they're just learning to count, you can say, oh, can you get me 5 of those cans of peaches or whatever it is, and have them count as they're giving them to you. Or you can, if they're starting to learn their letters, look at the shelves and find me 5 letter P's or whatever letter it is. For those younger ones, that's so much fun. And then as they get a little bit older, there's so many words, so many, all kinds of things, numbers and letters and different things you can do. You could do activities with budgeting. I know I have before given my kids a calculator and said, hey, I need you to add up the prices of all these items and tell me when we get to whatever the amount is. But it's a great thing for them to do. Or even as they're getting a little older, a little more responsible, maybe you could give them a short list and say, hey, I need you to go and find these 5 items and, compare prices of the brands and get the best price and best quality, read those ingredients, all of those things. Think about all the learning that is happening in those situations. They're learning from little, they're doing letters, numbers, shapes, colors, so many things. And then as they get older, reading, writing, budgeting, math, goodness, so much learning going on. So the next time that it's time to go shopping, I would encourage you. Now, I know it can be a challenge sometimes to take all of your kids to the grocery store. Oh, I could tell you some stories, but the learning that is happening on location at the store is so valuable. So I encourage you, take advantage of that. Try some ideas out and let us know in the comments or in an email. Let us know how that went for your family. I'd love to hear it. All right, now, Homeschool Helps with Amanda. I love helping homeschoolers, whether they're brand new, whether they have homeschooled a long time, whether they're homeschooling special needs kids or high school or just getting started, whatever it is, that truly is my heart. It is my passion. So if you out there, as you're watching or listening to this, if you have something that you're struggling with and you would like my help, my advice, please contact me. I would love to hear from you. I would love to share in whatever way I can, and give you as much help as I can. So today's Homeschool Helps with Amanda is for those of you that are brand new. So maybe you made the decision over Christmas break, you were going to pull your kids out of school and start homeschooling. My best advice for you is to ease in to this lifestyle called homeschooling. It is not as simple as moving locations of school from the brick and mortar school to now your home. I mean, physically it is that simple, but the reality is it is a big transition. It's a big transition for you. It's a big transition for your kids, for your whole family. It really is. It's very different to have your kids home all the time. It's very different if there's more than one for them to be together all the time. If you're used to being in separate classrooms, separate schools sometimes. So I would really encourage you, ease in. Give yourself so much grace during this transition time and just understand that it is a huge transition. It is going to take time to settle in, to really feel like you've got a routine down. And so what your homeschool looks like today is probably not what it's going to look like 6 months from now. There's also this idea that you might have heard of called de-schooling. This is not the same thing as unschooling. We'll talk about that some other time, but de-schooling, this is the idea that it's okay to take some time when you pull somebody out of brick and mortar school and start homeschooling. It is perfectly okay and often really helpful to take some time to de-school, to just enjoy each other, to get used to being together, read some books out loud, go on some field trips, enjoy each other, the time that you now have. But don't feel like you need to jump into a full-on school schedule right away. It is really okay and helpful to take time to kind of get the brick and mortar school out of your system, to be able to kind of transition away from the institutional school setting, because it is in your head. It is in your student's head, because that's what their experience, that's what they're used to, that's what you're used to. It will take time for that to not be your norm, if that makes sense. So do take some time to de-school. I think it's super helpful. In my case, we had made the decision at the end of a school year. So we had the whole summer to kind of go through that process. Truthfully, it might have been helpful for us to even take more time. But I have heard various amounts of time suggested. But I would say just kind of feel your way through it and maybe say, okay, we're going to take a month or 2 months, or even I would suggest to you that it would be okay to kind of have a relaxed approach the rest of the semester. And then you can research, you can come to Thrive Conference and really, go to workshops, see some vendors and curriculum, look at all that, and just kind of really get your feet under you, and then start full on in the new school year. I really hope that's helpful for you. When I started homeschooling 20 years ago, I had never heard of this concept. Even though we did, like I said, we did kind of do that over the summer, I didn't really think about the idea of how big of a transition it really was going to be for my children and for me and for my husband, for our whole family. It's such a change just in lifestyle. And that's okay. It's not bad. It's just a change. And it takes getting used to. So give yourself grace, take that time. Don't be afraid to de-school. All right? Okay. Last but not least, we always take time at the end of every show to talk about some NCHE news. So in NCHE news, we have a midwinter chess tournament coming up. As far as I know, there still are some spots, so definitely go ahead and sign up for that. The deadline, I believe, is coming up, so definitely look into that. We also have some great field trips coming up. Like we've talked about, the Charlotte Hornets game, January 20th. I did hear there's going to be another Hornets opportunity, so definitely keep your eye out for that. I think that is happening in February. So keep checking, check your website, check the email, stay tuned in with us. We'll give you all the info. There also is Sleeping with the Fishes. I believe it may be full at this point, but we are looking into possibly doing a second date of that. So if you missed out this time, keep your eyes and ears open and you'll get another opportunity. All right. There's also Graduate Central. Now, I know we have talked about NCHE's graduation a lot over the last couple of months, but this is, I think a lot of people, now that holidays are over, we're in the semester, a lot of people are starting to think about graduation and what are the different choices? What are the different opportunities? If you go to nche.com and look for Graduate Central, there should be a link to it right on the front page and all the information that you need about graduation, either the graduation ceremony that is at the end of the Thrive Conference. It's going to be Saturday, May 24th. That is a fabulous opportunity. We've talked a lot about that. You can find out that information. You can find out information about putting your student, their picture and their bio in our Greenhouse Graduate Edition, which is just really special. It's a great keepsake to have. Also, you can get, if you so choose, just order a diploma from us. So that's another opportunity for you. So please check out Graduate Central. And if you have any questions, any comments, let us know about that. Last but not least, we are quickly approaching registration being open for the Thrive Conference. And we are going to start having new and exciting information about the Thrive Conference each and every week. Now, as you know, we announced last year all of our featured speakers, and one of our featured speakers was Dorinda Wilson. We love her so much. She is here in North Carolina, so we consider her one of ours, one of us, and she is just wonderful. If you've ever heard her podcast or read her books, seen her workshops, she is a treasure. Well, sadly, Dorinda is facing some life-threatening health issues. And due to that, she is taking the year off to heal, to seek treatment, and just really, do what she needs to do to heal and to be strong so she can be back serving the homeschool community as she does so well. We are going to miss her so much, but we have added another speaker to round out our lineup of featured speakers, and we are very excited to announce that we are going to have Christy Faith as one of our featured speakers. Christy is fabulous. I plan to have her on the show in the next couple of weeks or months, and you are going to love her. So if you haven't checked her out yet, if you don't know who Christy Faith is, look her up. She's awesome, and you are going to love her. You are going to want to come to Thrive and hear what she has to share with us. So we are so excited about that. And please join us in your prayers, in your thoughts for Dorinda Wilson and her family as she's going through this health challenge. So we're praying for you, Dorinda. We love you so much. And we are going to miss you at Thrive. But hopefully, after this year, you'll be right back. We'll be able to have you back with us. All right. That is all I have for you today. We are here to help you homeschool with confidence and joy. We want to equip you. We want to connect you to resources, groups, other homeschoolers. We want to protect the right to homeschool. And that's why we're here. That's why NCHE exists. So please, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, please let us know. You can always reach us at thehomeschoolshow@nche.com. You can like, subscribe, and please help us out by sharing this show with your friends, with your family, with other homeschoolers you know. Please share. That would help us out so much. So until next time, I'm Amanda Wares, and keep homeschooling with confidence and joy.